Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultimate Final Fantasy, the Ultimate in Final Fantasy Podcast. I am Joe.
I am Caleb.
And today we're going to be going over the history of Square-Enix Part 10. The year 2001, Schweiss.
Ooh, it's rocky territory.
Quite rocky. But before we get to that, let's do some plugs, actually. We'll do plugs the very first. This is Ultima Final Fantasy, a weekly Final Fantasy podcast, in case you're joining us for the first time. We've been going over the Final Fantasy games since Final Fantasy 1.
Strange time to join.
It is kind of a strange time to join, but it's just fine. Listen to all the review episodes and then fill in later, right? That's what I would probably tell people to do. Yeah. But you can join us on this one. That's cool. Right now, we're playing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2. Because, of course, last week we reviewed Final Fantasy Tactics
And,
Advance.
of course, we knew it needed a sequel when we finished it. How could it not?
Oh yeah. Sure. Sure. I don't know what to say to that choice. I'm honestly just stuck.
Well, this one started out a lot more positively, I would say. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, just cutting out all the bullshit in the beginning.
That's
Guy's
true.
like, I'm going. No,
I'll just walk into a room and open a book, and then I'll
no
be...
sniveling little kid, none of that. All of that's
true.
gone.
That's true.
They cleaned it up.
Just him and his teacher.
Yeah, that part's kind of weird, but...
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to come up with a fucked up thing for that.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm not concerned about
get.
your ability to do that or not. Anyway, you can tweet me at Joseph DeGaulier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And our website is ultimafinalfantasy.com. We do encourage people to join the forums. Just click on the forums tab there. And also check out our other shows, Nude Clan, which is a video game podcast, the Godzilla podcast, if you're into Godzilla. And then we have some spin-off shows, Super Sexy Swinging Fanfiction, and the Puff Puff Hour, Dragon Quest podcast as well, if you're interested in those things. Schweiss, where are you in Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced 2?
I think I've done like 2 or 3 of the main quests. I'm trying to do everything optional. I know I was talking to you before we started the podcast, and you were going for the classic rush of Ninja with dual wield.
Is that a classic rush?
It is for me. Every Tactics game so far I've done it.
I have not had that strategy up until the last Tactics game.
Yeah.
And now I believe I know what I have to do to make this game not a living nightmare. Because the last 2 Tactics games have been, in some respect, at some point, a nightmare of grinding and losing my save time because the game got too hard.
I agree with the second one, Advanced being that way. But it was really easy until the very end for me. And then I got RNG, like, hammered. All the good RNG that I got from Tactics 1, where I was, like, super fucking lucky. Like, I probably should have not beaten that battle, but I totally did because they fucked up and they missed the attack on the
that must have been
on
nice.
the unit that can't die, even though I'm, like, miles away from them and I can't possibly in any fucking way save them before they die. Those missions, remember those?
Mm.
Yeah, I got super lucky on, like, multiple missions like that.
Well, congratulations.
In Advance 2, I did not get lucky. First time I go into the end fight, zapped with the ultimate attack. Everyone dies. My main guy resurrects because I have the angel ring on, and then they just mop the floor with me. I'm like, wow. This is not a good way to start the final boss.
On both games, my save time does not reflect my actual time.
I spent... Mine doesn't either, but on Advance, I actually took less time because I left it on for about 4.5 to 5 hours at work. So
Congratulations.
So it might actually reflect my real time now.
I'm avoiding the pain of losing so goddamn much time.
I lost about an hour in it last night for stupid things because I'm trying to play Advance 2 without breaking any of the laws to get the little bonus items at the end. Mm-hmm. And one of them, it was don't use fire, and I accidentally used fire, like just not even thinking like, oh, these guys will burn easily. And so I used fire, and like it kicked out the bonus, and so I turned it off, turned it on, and then I did this stupid bunny quest in the beginning, and it was like the battle at Helm's Deep with these bunnies. Like, they just kept coming, and I didn't fucking care. I just kept slaughtering them, kicking down their stupid little ladders, like endless carnage. And then I get to the end, I'm like, I think I've had my fill of bunny blood. And then the guy's like, oh, you failed. And then I read the quest, and it's like, too much is no good. I'm like, when is too much no good? Like, I could just give you what you require, and then I could keep the rest. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any fucking
It's
sense.
so stupid. I've lost it twice, and then you told me how to do it, but go ahead.
Yeah, so like I turned it off, and I lost an hour from that one, and then I lost like 25 minutes from the one for using fire, and I was like, man, this game's laws are stupid. But...
Can I say right now, knowing how many days the quest is going to pop up again when you fail a quest, knowing that I can go into the store and I can try on things.
Oh, the fitting room?
It's just a much better version of the fitting room from Advance. Knowing you can see weaknesses in the upper menu, having the second screen with all the information on it, and knowing the turns without having to go through some fucked up Mortal Kombat-esque button mashing thing that you have to do in order to get information in Tactics Advance. Not kidding. I love the improvements already from Tactics Advance to Tactics Advance 2. They play very similarly, but Tactics Advance 2 gives you the information.
Yeah.
And it puts it on the second screen on the DS.
Yeah, I used to mock the second screen because I was like, they only use it for maps and stuff. And it's like, yeah, they do,
It depends on the game.
But they also use it for great shit like this and make games that would have been like half as easy or easier to navigate on the Advance, like twice as good.
Yeah. So I already like the gameplay more. Already. I mean, unless it gets effed up later down the line or something. I'm sorry, guys. Spoiler alert. I like this one more. Already.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
you don't know yet. Okay.
I like the way it looks, definitely, and I like how I'm not on a screen that's the size of my palm. Or much smaller than my palm, actually.
Well,
it's a sizable. I got the XL too, so it's monstrous.
Oh, okay. I got the 2DS, which I know is your favorite looking system.
Yeah, it is. I think the Magnavox looks more appealing to me than that stupid 2DS. And it also looks like it costs more money, which it did, admittedly. Inflation included, those OG ones are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, old game consoles, they're still less expensive than the PS3 was.
True. Most of them, yeah. There were a couple that were more, but not many.
Yeah.
PS3 was ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I didn't fucking get one.
Yeah. What the hell are we talking about? Oh,
where we're at.
Yeah, where you're at.
How many story missions have you done so far?
5.
5?
Yeah.
I just did the tomato one this morning.
Oh, okay, that one's the 4th one?
Oh, okay, so I'm for a little bit further than I thought. But.
Yeah.
Do you know how many story missions there are in this game? Because I know in the last
I haven't looked. This game is not a very... We're getting into the... Like we said last time, we're getting into the games that have not been explored that much. Despite them selling 2 million copies or whatever, there's a copy amount, right? It's about 3 million copies. You'll have plenty of information on the internet about shit to do in the game. This is mostly has to do with games older than the big splurge of the internet, right? This one doesn't make any sense in that respect because I think it sold relatively well. I haven't looked this up, but I think it did, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume.
And yet I can't find that much great information. When I say that, my preferred ways of looking for stuff like the wiki on what is that wiki called? The wiki guides, you know what I'm talking? IGN wiki guides?
Yeah, IGN is great.
There's nothing on that thing.
For that.
So I've been having to go into the game facts guides, and I haven't looked at an overall one yet to see how many missions there are.
A lot of it's deep forum diving for these ones, and that's mixed because it's people recalling what they did.
Yeah.
So it's not always 100% accurate, so that's kind of annoying.
So there's not much info on this game.
Yeah, I usually just like to have one, not really to use, but to just kind of gauge where I'm at.
You can't even use them on these tactic games anyway because...
You might be 50%, but you're totally not.
You might not even have the classes that they have, or even have the ability to get the abilities that they have by that time in the game. They're not telling you. I remember looking at both these guides for Tactics and Tactics Advance. I looked at some guides, and none of them told you recommended classes or whatever, but they didn't tell you exactly how to get those classes at what point in the game you should get them or whatever. which to me is like what a guide should do, not just tell you, hey, this is the boss. So for the tactics games, it's kind of hard to be guided out. You more like want
That's true, yeah.
where to get abilities and how to get abilities.
That's true, because it's one of those games where it's like you just have to be in a certain situation. You can't really, and like people who will write the guides will assume that you're doing kind of what they're doing.
It's too random.
Yeah, that too. And the RNG is too all over the place to like say, this is how you beat this fight every time, no problems. There's no way to really do that. For the most part, I would say. There are certain tactics that you must do, and certainly those help. But being able to get one shot the second you walk in the final boss, that's not really something you can account for necessarily. It's just like, well, you're fucked this time, but hopefully next time they won't do this move until a little later.
Yeah, the only thing I ever read in a forum was a paladin with dual wield is sick in this game.
It was sick in the last one too.
It was ridiculous. Apparently sick in the last one. I only ever got ninja with dual wield. So that is kind of my goal, is to just get there. And hopefully the game won't be as bad.
I had one ninja and one paladin, both with dual wield. And then the really fun thing that I did was I put my main guy, I gave him 2 blood swords.
This was in the last game.
Yeah, in the last Tactics Advance. And like I would attack with the 2 blood swords, and I wouldn't do very much damage, but I would siphon 50 or so health each hit, and so I would just get 100 health every time I attacked. And if I countered someone hitting me, I would get another 100 health.
And yet you had problems with the last boss.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's because there's no counter to the fucking laser from the sky. You can't counter that.
Laser from the sky.
There's no like laser defense system that you've spent millions on to protect you from the Ruskies and their lasers.
Laser from the Sky is now my album title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good title.
Nothing can protect you from the laser in the sky. That will also be the hook of one of the songs. I got this, dude. I'm going to make a Godzilla metal album. I'm going to make a Final Fantasy metal album. I'm going to do all these things that I'm never going to do, but I'm going to say I'm going to do.
There you go.
I'm so excited, dude.
I was so excited to not do these things.
You said you're 4 hours into the game?
Almost, yeah.
Almost. And that was all last night?
Yeah, about most of it.
I'm consistently doing Final Fantasy Fridays. For 2 weeks now. I've been
very consistent.
Final Fantasy Fridays. So I put in my 6 hours and 10 minutes or whatever into the game.
So you just did like the average, how long to beat, and then...
Yeah, we could talk about that at the end of the show if you want.
Okay.
If you want to get into our plans.
Yeah, we could do that.
Did we ever officially decide?
How many we're going to beat this year?
Yeah.
I think you brought it up on episode 1 of this year, and then episode 2 you said you weren't going to be able to do it. So yes, but...
Well, I can do it. That's not the... Anyway, okay, we'll get into it later.
All right.
We'll give people what they want, which is probably news and then history of Square-Enix. So let's get to the news. News.
All right, a reminder for everybody, first up in news, and probably most important, Wii Shop Channel will stop allowing you to add more points in March. If you guys want to get My Life as a Dark Lord and My Life as a King.
Those are only available on the Wii store.
I think they're on the Wii U store as well, actually.
But
nobody has a Wii U,
Wii
so
Wii
it
U
doesn't
store.
matter. So since you have a Wii and you didn't buy the Wii U because you're not an idiot, not that you're an idiot if you bought it, you're just not an idiot if you didn't buy it.
Okay.
Pick it up because
look at how offended Craig is back there.
We're gonna be. I did want one for about 10 minutes. I wanted one really bad when he had it. I also wanted a fucking PlayStation PSP Vita or whatever.
That second screen thing is actually really nice. It's just like, I don't know, it was too soon or something. Like they didn't release that thing at the right point.
Yeah. Well, they also didn't release a Zelda game exclusively.
Like what generation does that Wii U console actually belong to? Because now it's like in between.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo likes to jump the gun with their consoles. They're like, oh, Wii U's not doing well. Let's do a Switch. We'll do 2 consoles this generation. We're gonna double down.
Yeah.
And then everybody else just doesn't care, and they're like, well, here's a better version of of the last one. Same thing we've been doing forever, just way better on the Xboxes. So pick it up. Those are running out March 2018. You will not be able to add Wii points to your store. I need to go in and make sure I have all of my Nintendo classics picked up. I'm probably gonna use the
dude,
the DS,
just get them on the DS.
Because the DS's save states are amazing, and the Wii does not have that. And I tried to play Zelda.
The Wii U does, though.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It's that handheld element, man. That's all it needs.
Yeah, that's what the Wii U has as well.
Yeah. I tried to play Zelda on the Wii, and it's kind of sucked, to be honest.
Yeah, I had problems on the Zelda on the Wii because of the save state. I think, look,
it was the controller.
You can play Zelda without save states. You can.
It's true, yeah.
I got to the 5th dungeon without save states. Wanted to kill myself, and we had a podcast, and we canceled the podcast because of that. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had a Zelda podcast. Remember, because I had never played Zelda. Dylan played a lot of Zelda. You were interested in playing Zelda. We're like, let's make a new podcast.
Nope.
We did Nude Clan instead, but Zelda. We were gonna do a Zelda podcast, go through all the games, like every 3 dungeons on each. Yeah,
we also wanted a Metal Gear Solid podcast too, but we're just gonna play those anyway.
We're just gonna play them all on Nude Clan.
It kind of sucks because like we would dominate the Metal Gear arena if we did one, but we're not gonna do one.
Yeah, who cares?
It's just too much.
It's fine. I agree. And so we have a hidden Zelda episode somewhere. Don't we? Did we keep that thing?
I think we did, yeah.
We got to release that on one of the feeds.
Yeah, you got to put it out somewhere.
Just be like, sorry, we never actually did this, but here you go. Here's our first episode of Zelda.
Yeah, first 3 dungeons. The main problem I had with that is I didn't do them in order. So, like, I got to dungeon, 8, the 3rd one, and I was like, fucking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's because it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, the original Legend of Zelda is going to be reviewed on Nude Clan in, 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
We got a movie review. We got to watch Tomb Raider.
I thought we already watched both Tomb Raiders.
We got to watch... No, we didn't watch the second Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I swear to God we did.
No, we did
With Daniel Craig?
No, that's the first one.
No, the first one has... Oh, shit, you're right. That first one does have Daniel Craig. The second one has Gerard Butler.
Okay.
Did we not watch
I've
Tomb
never
Raider
seen
2?
the second one in my life.
We haven't. Oh, man.
That's...
I only remember 3 scenes. Most of it Gerard Butler. So they have one big male actor, and then, of course, Angelina Jolie. And then I forget the male actor mostly, because I was like, man, I totally forgot that this guy was in this movie.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I forgot 007 was
the
in this
hilarious
thing.
things. For those who don't listen to Nude Clan, you're insane. But here's the thing that I brought up on Nude Clan that I'm still reeling over. Angelina Jolie puts on a British accent, talks to Daniel Craig, who puts on an American accent.
They're probably both disgusted with each other's
They're talking
accents.
to each other in the same scene. I am disgusted with Daniel Craig's American accent. It doesn't quite work.
Yeah, British accent is easy.
In that movie. I don't think that it is. I can't do it. You can't do it. Don't even think you can, Schweiss, because you can't.
I can totally.
I have no idea if Angelina Jolie's British accent is any good. I have no idea. But I know Daniel Craig's American accent is just a little bit off. I love Daniel Craig, though, so don't take this as an offense, Daniel Craig. It's okay. You became Bond later.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you started.
Doesn't matter. You're getting $75 million a movie, which is disgusting.
Yeah, and he hates it. He hates being Bond, too. What an asshole. Great actor, though. Final Fantasy XV's Pocket Edition is launching on February 9th. So if you guys want to experience 15 on the go...
If you want to experience 15 but have it look shittier...
And not have half of the fun with the battle system, you very well can on February 9th.
There you go.
It is being released in chapter
Will be nice for
format.
people who can't get the PS4, I guess.
Yeah. It's going to be released across 10 chapters.
But can get a really nice phone.
But the first 2 will be available for free. The ones later on you will have to purchase, though. So keep that in mind, and... Shit, I think that would be kind of fun to play. Just play it as
it's just 15 again.
Yeah, but I imagine it's...
Only chibi, which is a word I learned on this show.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's got... I think it'd be sweet if they had a turn-based system. I think a lot more people would probably play it just to see what they made the game as a turn-based RPG. Or at least active time battle. I think that'd be really fun. Because then at least it's like, oh, it's kind of a different game. Maybe I will play it. Huh. Not that I have time to play anything ever, but I could, and I would have more of a draw.
You say you don't have time to play anything ever, and how many games have you beaten?
What?
Have you beaten? Sorry.
I've beaten a lot of games, but
no time.
No time at all. Okay.
Something called Everybody's Golf has a 30th anniversary collaboration with Final Fantasy, even though it's the 31st anniversary or whatever. So yeah,
looks like we're
that's
gonna
available on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a Final Fantasy golf cart design, a collaboration cup that awards people Cactuar caps, and also the first one up will be a Chocobo set, and that's going to be releasing February 26, 2018 in Japan. Everybody's Golf, of course, is a PS4 game, as we all know, because we're all huge fans of Everybody's Golf on Ultima here.
And our last piece of news that is not the quiz that I'm about to take. Final Fantasy 15 version 1.21 update is now available. So there's like an Assassin Festival and all that crap. It's up there. So if you got Final Fantasy 15, log in. Get your update in there, and then log right back in.
Wonder how much bigger that shit's going to be. It's already massive. I can't bring myself to delete it either. Because I know the moment I delete it, I'm going to need it again for like DLC stuff. But it's fucking huge, man. And like I'm going through, and I bought this external hard drive, but I corrupted it because I accidentally unplugged it. So I need to go through and like reformat it, but that's going to take a little while, right? So I just haven't done it. Okay. And I also don't want to have like 7,000 cords plugged into like every little thing in my wall, and I'm too lazy to use the fucking extension cords and the
Here's the thing with you
surge
and cords.
protectors. I know.
This is you and your relationship with cords.
I've corrected it recently. Those
I'm looking at a pile.
Those are cords that belong there. Those are charger cords and the cords for the headset. Those are fine.
Let me explain to you how cords are supposed to work. They don't go to the outside. They go behind.
But these cords have to go to the outside. They're charger cords. And I have an extra one over there because my headset requires a cord.
But like your hard drive cord should not come out. It should go behind.
The big problem, though, is that I also have VR stuff that I was doing, so I couldn't have it plugged in.
Schweiss, I've had a relationship with you for 2 years. 4 years, God damn it. Because of this show.
Come out right now?
All right. Yeah, I'm coming out right now. Coming out of the closet right now. Here's the deal. Schweiss cannot handle cords. He just can't. The idea of taking more than 1.5 seconds to handle a cord correctly destroys him. So he has broken more cords than the fucking
that is
cat.
Bullshit. You are the only man here that's broken a mic cord. I have never broken a cord on my microphone once. I may have broken one on Cameron's one time, but never my own. And you shorted your own cord out.
Exhibit A.
Hey,
are all these little cords that that we've had to buy 3 fucking times here because they get fucked up because Mr. Impatient, when he's pulling and pushing back in cords, is not fucking taking the time to making sure that there's not a kink in the cord when he's taking them out or putting them back into the goddamn mixer. Or
the cords are just trash.
Or when there's cords like in front of the thing, or the webcam cord gets fucked up, or Schweiss, you have fucked up so many goddamn cords. There is not there. I don't know. You probably started out with 6 cell phone chargers / PS4 controller charging cords. How many are you down to now that actually work properly without having to be like, well, this one you have to twist around, put one end in your anus and then have it come back down into the PS4 in order to actually get the little charge thing to light up. Look, how many actually function properly, Schweiss?
With a cord relationship, it's not supposed to be easy. You got to work at it.
No.
So that's what you got to do.
You have to do it gently.
You got to hang them from a fucking ledge at a certain angle so that it pulls it just right and connects those little metal pieces that aren't connected anymore.
It's not even just the cord relationship. It's the port that the cord goes into. So how many ports have you fucked up? How many cords have you fucked up in your life, Schweiss?
The ports on my computer it's a known issue with the computer.
Okay.
And the USB.
It did work before, though, right?
Not for very long. It was like 4 days. Okay. And then because the motherboard I have, you have to reset it to get the USB cords to work. So they just don't work. Like, it's just part of the motherboard. It's a defect that it has. So that's not me.
And the years of me having to deal with your external speakers being in like different places, being on the floor, and then the cords get all tangled up.
I don't use them.
And you're
that's
like,
why.
fuck it, I'm gonna manhandle this thing away instead of just like unplug it, take it out, unhook it gently.
Sorry, I'm not
put them
dainty enough.
Yeah, you have to be dainty with the goddamn cords, Schweiss.
No, you don't.
Otherwise, you have to fucking buy new cords because you fucking can't handle the goddamn cords.
Most of it, honestly, most of the USB ones, it's because of the fucking the fact that I have to plug my.
No idea, guys. Guys, you have no idea how much the cord pain has caused me. I had to get a fucking thing under this table to hold cords because I knew so many cords being under the table, Schweiss is going to be like kicking them and like twisting them. And,
Dude,
like,
you're the one that moves.
putting
You're the
them
one.
around
I'm
his
telling
neck.
you. I'm telling. No, you did that to me. Wait, no. Who choked who with the cord? I think we didn't we use a cord, or was the cord just like part of the like tussle we had?
We had a tussle.
I don't think any of us.
One of us was wearing headphones and the headphones came off or something like
we
that.
ripped
Or
the mic cord completely in half.
a cord was underneath one of the chairs.
Oh, okay.
The chair was pulled.
I
And
had
then the
thought.
cord
I had
broke.
thought about choking you with the cord. I think is what happened.
Oh,
It didn't
wow.
actually happen.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have worked out for you.
The cord would have broke. These things are shit.
Anyway,
Same way
it's
it
not
broke.
them being shit, Schweiss. It's your inability to handle them. Thank you for all the cheers.
You are the only one here that's broken a mic cord, and you've broken two, because you can't. You just keep moving. I don't move. You keep moving the mic. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but there's an episode on this show where my mic's on and yours is off, and you were in front of it.
The mic wasn't there. I think it was just unplugged a little bit. There was nothing wrong with the cord.
Oh, okay. I guess the last cord we had to break was a while ago.
Yeah.
Because these we don't have room to do anything
So what's
with.
my
'cause they're like
my cord break count?
3 feet long. 2, and 1 was only half your fault.
Would you call that fight my fault?
I'd say
Schweiss?
halfway, yeah. It's about 50-50.
The guy who doesn't start the fight is not at fault for the fight. Schweiss.
You might not have started it by touching me, but you did. You did incite the rage.
I called you the C word, yeah.
You don't
Yep,
do
I
that
did.
often. And I couldn't fight
No,
you.
I don't do it often.
I couldn't fight you the last time you did it because I was driving.
But you were being especially
C-ish.
C-ish that day. Okay?
I can accept that.
I've said the C word like 4 times in my life, Schweiss.
Almost all of it
2
is
times
me.
have been to you.
I command
The other
half.
times have been to
I command
FedEx
half
boxes.
of your. I command half of your C. Oh man, that's sad. How many more times I've said that word? I think I've said that word more times this week than you have in your life.
That's probably
Mostly yesterday.
It's just
Mostly
it's the one word that I just don't like. It just makes me feel sick. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
pretty gross,
Which is
yeah.
dumb because swearing is whatever. It's like it's words we've decided to give meaning to in some bizarre way. That this one's offensive if you say this.
But if you say something that's almost the same, it's fine. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
stupid.
it's dumb. Okay, I got the other piece of news. Some Final Fantasy 30th, even though it's the 30th anniversary quiz popped up.
Yeah.
From Square-Enix,
That's how years
the
work,
official
Square.
Final Fantasy quiz. So
So yeah, someone asked us if we were going to do it on the show after I already took it.
you took it, and you got one wrong.
Yeah.
Was it this first one?
No.
Okay. I've never played World of Final Fantasy. Oh, guys, I'm going to take this quiz. So if you want to take the quiz on your own, it's quiz.finalfantasy30.com, and the 30 is not written out. It's the numbers.
Yeah, so join it. You get a little coupon for their store.
So you might want to pause the show, take the quiz, see what you get.
Why are we in Europe? What is this?
I don't know. It display. No, that's the language, dude.
Oh, okay.
It's the language.
Why does it say display it in English? Like you got to click on it.
It's the UK flag.
Why is that? That's an affront to me. I didn't see that on my phone.
Why is it not American?
Yeah, get that UK shit out of
there.
here. You know, we fought a war over this.
We didn't fight a war over the English language.
No, we fought a war over them for the land, though.
Yeah, no. Taxation without representation.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 1 is, what is this Cactar's occupation in World of Final Fantasy? It's got the picture of the Cactar. He's got a whistle, and he's got a... Hey.
Sorry.
Taking the image away from me. Okay.
I'm going to try to add it to the stream, so just keep going, though.
Okay. What is this Cactar's occupation world of Final Fantasy? He's got a striped blue hat with a little Cactar symbol on it. He's got a... Is that a bag in his hand, or is he leaning on something?
It looks like a lunch pail. That's what I thought it was.
It does. Shit. And then he's got a whistle in one hand. Asking what his occupation is now. I'm split between train conductor and police. The whistle could be either one as well. Now, if he was a crosswalk guard or whatever, that would be what I would choose. I guess I'm going to go with police for Cactar because Cactars are a-holes. So I'm just going to go with police on this one. Never played World of Final Fantasy. I don't know what his occupation is.
Hello, website.
Website doesn't want to load. Oh, what the hell? Guess we're having website problems. All right, let's log back in.
Log in with what?
Log in. Just log in.
Oh, this is fun.
Okay, there we go.
Said police, right?
Police, yeah. Damn it! It was a train. Damn it!
Dude, you know what's funny?
I was between the two.
Earlier, I was like, I thought it was police. I legitimately thought it was police, but I got it right when I took it.
All right, let's go next. Okay, I got one wrong.
All right, where can you collect frogs in Final Fantasy IX? The options are Chocobo's Lagoon, Esto Gaza, Mount Gulug, or Q's Marsh.
Q's Marsh.
And it's not loading the images anymore, so that's fun. Okay. Where is this island located? It's a picture of blank from Final Fantasy X.
It's Besaid. It's Titus on that trail.
Sure it's not Hammerhead?
Yeah, I'm sure.
How many times do you have to fight Gilgamesh in Final Fantasy V? 1,000, 6, 100, or 1? This is a fucking moron
6
question.
times.
Like, it's more than one.
It's more than once, but it's not 100.
It's certainly not 100.
Now, if it were like 6, 5, 4, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, that's what I would have done, and I would have gotten it wrong.
Chocobos change appearance throughout the Final Fantasy series. Which Final Fantasy game does this Chocobo come from?
14, 10, 15, or 6. This one I think is pretty damn easy, too. Especially because if you look on the right, you can see half of a
10.
fucking character.
It's FF10.
They cut it off with, like, Tidus's fucking arm sticking out with his little gauntlet thing.
Now, if they said 10 or 11, I might have had a problem.
What is the name of this mischievous black mage in Final Fantasy XI?
Shantoto Biatch.
Yeah. I think we probably would have gotten that right even if we would have just played the main.
That's true. What is the main battle theme of Final Fantasy VIII? Don't be afraid, premonition, force your way, or never look back. Oh, shit. Oh, crap.
Take it, Jake. Take the real one, the official.
Oh, crap. It's between don't be afraid and force your way. I'm going with don't be afraid. Yep. Okay, we're good. What is the main sport featured? Blitzball.
Seaball.
Seaball. What is the name of the Final Fantasy VII animated movie sequel? Advent Children. Come on.
Yeah, this
is easy. Which of the following Final Fantasy titles feature the Moogle Village?
Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy VII, or Final Fantasy III? This one was one that I was fearing.
Moogle Village?
Yeah, because it's been a long time.
Oh, shit. It's not 7. It's not the first one. Were Moogles even in the third one?
I don't know.
I think it's 5. Yep. Okay. We're good. There are several variations of the Chocobo theme throughout the Final Fantasy series. Which one plays during Chocobo racing in FF7? Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Cinco de Chocobo, 5th Chocobo, Fiddle de Chocobo, Waltz, or Electric de Chocobo. I'm going with Cinco de Chocobo. It's like celebration. Fuck!
It's got a fiddle going the whole time, remember?
No, I don't.
Oh, I totally
I don't remember the theme. Damn it, I already fucking lost over Schweiss. All right, which Final Fantasy... I was hoping that the results would be at the end, but whatever.
They will.
Which Final Fantasy game did Sid first appear in?
Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 15, Dissidia, or Final Fantasy 5?
2.
Sure about that?
No. Yeah. No, yeah, he's in 4, so it's got to be 2.
Yeah. That's deductive reasoning for half of them.
What makes Ultima different in Final Fantasy 2 compared to the other Final Fantasy games? It's still considered white magic, it's considered black magic, it's a defensive spell, or only the protagonist can use it. There was some shit on the forum about this, and now I don't remember. Only the protagonist can use it. I have no idea.
That's what I guessed, too.
It's considered... No, that's the one you got wrong?
That's the one I got wrong, yep.
It's considered white magic.
And I thought it was either that or... Actually, I thought it was between these two. The right one and the one you chose.
Okay.
But I was so pissed. It's like, fuck that, man. That's bullshit. That was years ago, and they know it.
What is the name of the bonus quest which was first added in the Game Boy Advance version? Solar Rebirth.
Yeah, never played a second of it, but we know it.
Yeah.
So we've been asked to play it like 1,000 fucking times.
By Shinru, who gave us our news, by the way, so thank you. Who is the leader of the Returners in Final Fantasy VI? Noctis, Terra, Mog, or Banon? The Returners in 6. Oh, shit. The leader? Oh, crap. I don't remember who Banon is at all, so I have a feeling it's Banon.
You want to go with that?
I guess. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I don't remember Banon. Who's Banon?
He's the leader.
He's the leader of the Returners?
I knew it wasn't any of the other ones.
It's been 2 years now since I played that game. That sucks, dude. I don't remember talking about that on our review either.
No, I don't think we did.
What is the name of Sid's airship in Final Fantasy IV? Highwind, which it is not. Ragnarok, which is not. Dreadnought, or the Enterprise? The Enterprise. Sweet. Dancing Mad plays during the Final Fantasy VI.
Yep.
That's where Dancing Mad is from. It's a great piece of music. What is the name of Sephiroth's move, which reduces all characters' HP to 1? Supernova, Heartless Angel, Shadow Flare, or Black Materia? I'm going to go with Supernova. That's the one I remember the name of. Oh, it's Heartless Angel. Look at that.
I almost did Supernova, too.
How many Cacnars do you have to kill to cause the extinction of the entire species and lightning returns? Oh, shit.
Hey, you never did these, did you?
I didn't. 100 seems a bit much. I'm going with 30. It's between 131 and 9,000. Oh, God. I was like, 100 is like...
That's a lot of Cactuars.
That's a fuckload. In FF11, which infamous notorious monster do players have to kill to obtain leaping boots? Leaping Lizzie.
We tried to... That was the first thing I tried to do in this game. That's the only reason why I know that. That was the first... Because I was looking online, and that was one of the quests that was listed, and I was like, I can't fucking find this Leaping Lizzie. And like, what the fuck? And then I found out it was like totally optional. I don't need shit from it.
And also only spawns at a certain time.
Yeah,
at a certain place.
Bullshit 11 mode. So I was like, not doing this.
Got to get that FF11 clock website.
That's where I found. That's where I first found Mr. Happy too, because he had a video on that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I didn't do it, but
yeah. What is the name of the ceremony in which two characters can enter into an official relationship in Final Fantasy XIV? Eternal bonding, everlasting bond, the exchange of bracelets, and friendship celebration. The eternal bonding sounds better than the other ones, so I'm guessing that one. Okay, very good, very good English translation staff.
What is the main instrument used in the Sandoria theme, the Kingdom of Sandoria from Final Fantasy XI? This one's tough because we didn't start in Sandoria, but we loved the soundtrack to both that and the other areas. The only lame one is Bastok, which is unfortunately where we spend most of our time.
Bagpipe. Even though that might be Bastok I'm thinking of. Okay, we're good. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Granitol. Traditionally, what color are chocobos? Yellow. What am I, stupid? Come on. Green. I'm colorblind, guys. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Check my eyes. What is the name of the first town you visit in Final Fantasy I? Cornelia. What is the name of the land that Queen Ashura and King Leviathan rule in Final Fantasy IV? Village of Mist, Feymarch, Cydia. Agart. Oh. Queen Ashura and King Leviathan.
Yep.
Mysidia is one that I recognize. And Village of Mist is the other one I recognize. So that's a real problem here.
That is an issue, yeah.
Mysidia.
All right, let's check.
Try it. You fuck. Feymarch? Oh, shit. I don't remember that one. Sorry, guys. What race is Fran? Vieira.
All right.
I know that from all the fucking tactics games I've been playing.
Yeah.
How many enemy skill materials exist in FF7? Probably 10 out of those. 1, 4, 8, or 10. Oh, I guess there's 4. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what that question's asking, actually.
How many materia you can find, because that's one that you can't duplicate. You have to find every
Oh,
enemy
I didn't
skill.
know that's what it was. I thought it was saying like how many enemy skills.
Oh, yeah, it'd be
Okay.
there's like 40.
Okay.
So 10 would have been an illogical answer.
All right. I didn't understand the question, guys. Also, I didn't know there was only... I wouldn't have gotten it no matter what. Pretty sure.
I don't know. It's one of those ones like the Cactuar where it's like, well, 100 is fucking ridiculous for Cactuars. 1 is stupid. 1,000 is not even in the question, so...
In FF5, what is the name of Bartz's father? Stella! No. Stella, Ferris, Dorgon, or Zoc. Oh, shit. If it's Ferris, I'm going to kill myself. Let's go with Dorgon. Okay, woo! That was a good... it looks like dragon. He's got a...
Yeah.
No, that's not even his father, is it?
No.
Yeah. Which Guardian Force can break the 1,000 or 9,999 damage limit in FF8? Bahamut, Cactar, Doomtrain, or Eden. Oh, these are all summons I don't think I ever got. Bahamut sounds right. But it's Eden, which is whatever. Fine. How did you know that one?
Because I got the other ones.
Yeah.
Except for Doom Train. I didn't get Doom Train when we played. I could have gotten Doom Train, and I almost took the time, but then I was like, fuck this game. It needs to be done.
The 30th question is, what is the name of the theme song for Final Fantasy XIV expansion Heaven's Word? Unicorn Song, Moogle Song, Angel Song, or Dragon Song? Hold on. Heaven's Word, what does it have to do with? Is it dragons or unicorns, Twice?
I remember I had a unicorn mount. So.
Okay, well, it's Dragon Song.
Yeah, that's a stupid one.
Okay. All right. Chocobo Crusader, 77%. Congratulations, you are a Chocobo Crusader. I have a Final Fantasy podcast I've been doing for 4 years. The other guy only gets one wrong. I'm going to kill myself today.
How many is that wrong? What was it, like 3, 4?
I don't know. It was like 4, I think. Prove yourself worthy as true Final Fantasy. Hit the button below to share with your friends. Okay, what is this little chart here saying? Like my knowledge on certain things?
Yeah, your knowledge on battle is low, but your knowledge on locations, creatures, history is especially strong. Music is pretty strong, and characters is maxed. So that kind of shows like where you got everything right.
Okay. So it was all battle mechanic stuff.
Pretty much.
It seems
you
like I
fucked up
got
on.
pretty much all those questions wrong.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
You got one of them, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
The gameplay aspect, you fucked up, but
yeah, that sounds about right though. Like that's pretty like how much is he paying attention during this part?
not much.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the quiz twice, and we also got History Square-Enix, so let's get into it. All right. History of Square-Enix, Part 10. The ship begins to sink. I think you know what might happen in this part of the history of Square-Enix.
Are you saying the name gives it away a little bit?
Name gives it away a little bit. You're wondering what makes the ship sink. And when we're talking about Square and Enix, they're not yet one thing. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Oh,
It was the year of plenty. It was the year of few.
that's literally half of the good parts in that book. Maybe, no, one third.
It was the year of millions of copies sold, and it was the year of millions of dollars in losses. It was 2001, and it was the year Square Co. began to die. I couldn't find when it was reported to happen, but at some point in the late 90s, someone thought that the Final Fantasy brand was strong enough to warrant the creation of an expensive, really expensive feature film. Instead of doing something live action, which worked for the hit Mortal Kombat films, Square decided that their Final Fantasy movie would utilize their lifelike cutscenes that they were known for in the games. So not only would this movie be animated, but you fucking lost my spot when you did that shit, Schweiss. Thank you.
You lost it.
We're using the same computer, and this is a real problem. Not only would it be animated, but it would be an animated film more serious in tone than other animated features at the time. And it's something targeted not at a kid audience, not even at an adult audience, which is kind of where the animated feature film success rates seem to lie in. It's the two extremes, right? But actually something targeted to teenage audiences or gaming audiences. You would think they would learn a lesson from the bomb of Titan AE or something like that when it comes to that.
Yeah, you'd think.
But no, they went ahead and spent $140+ million creating the technology needed for the Uncanny Valley CGI tech that they were pioneering for this movie. I think I put it into context later on, but Titanic, I'll talk about it in a second. To be fair, this is one of the few times where Final Fantasy was doing a first of anything. FF had been a series that historically had improved on other creative ideas, like the gameplay elements from Dragon Quest and the story elements from Star Wars.
Although it's not the first time they've blown that much money, though. Let's be clear.
And
Square
put
is
its own
crazy
own unique spin on it. They usually take other stuff, though, and so this is the first time Final Fantasy is this is the first time anyone's ever done this, where they had the realistic CGI deal.
That's true.
Anyone's done one else had done it. Game makers or not. No one else has made that kind of movie. Spirits Within, however, really was the first movie of its kind, taking the world of computer animation from the realm of Toy Story and stretching it to its breaking point, basically paving the way for future realistic CGI films like the future Beowulf, Polar Express, which was a pretty big hit, and the relatively recent Jim Carrey starring Christmas Carol movie that came out. That was pretty big success from what I remember. Mostly those are Robert Zemeckis movies, actually, I think. Either way, he's really into that stuff. I don't particularly know why. It's kind of a weird part of animated film that I don't know. What do you think about that kind of
I don't know.
thing? You know,
it's weird. I'd rather just have real stuff.
Either real or cartoon.
I like to joke when we were watching Rambo, and they had the helicopter scene when it was a real helicopter. Joe was like, "Oh man, if they made that today, it'd be a CG'd helicopter." And then every movie for the next month, I would be like, if they would have made that in the 70s, that would have been a real dinosaur right there.
Yeah,
that's a fake dinosaur.
Fuck you.
They would have fucking resurrected a dinosaur for real for this movie.
So let's take a minute and think about the $140 million price tag going into this new project based on a video game series. Titanic, which was the most expensive film of all time up to that point, cost $180. So let's think about that. This movie is only $40 million short of Titanic. They're both huge movies. And now I know it's kind of normal right now. Big blockbuster movies now, they usually have a budget of around $200 million.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot.
If you think about inflation from the late 90s, early 2000s,
it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
It's that's a lot of money, dude.
And it might not be a lot.
It's a lot of money for a fucking video game series.
It might not be a lot dollar to dollar, but when we're talking 140 million of those dollars, it's a lot of inflation.
Here's the thing that confuses me. Even if you had every Final Fantasy fan go see that movie, it wouldn't cover the cost. You got 10 million people who bought Final Fantasy VII at that time. That's the max, right?
Yeah.
You got 10 million as the max audience, basically, that are going to come because it's Final Fantasy.
Back then, matinee was like $5.15.
So you're looking at
maybe 80 million.
$5 to $7 a person. Half of that is split with the theaters.
Yeah, you're not making money.
You're not making money.
Now you maybe not, and you know what the sad part is they ended up making more than what we're guessing they would make
That's
right
true.
now.
That's true.
And it still
yeah.
fucking ruined them.
Anyway, so Titanic, which was the most expensive film of all time, $180 million, was written and directed by the creator of the massively successful Terminator 2 and the massively successful True Lies, which is a great movie, by the way.
I didn't know that was directed by him.
Yeah, that's James Cameron.
No wonder it's awesome.
Yeah. Starred named actors.
Same ones.
And like the other blockbusters of the 90s, was a pioneer in special effects technology as well. Spirits Within had a creative staff known for making video games, not movies, and although the voice talent certainly included some big-name stars, like Alec Baldwin, it's not like you get to see any of their faces.
Yeah.
So you can't really use it in advertising as much. So I applaud them for taking the risk. Unfortunately for all of us, I think most people would agree with that. Unfortunately, they bet the future of the company on that movie. You know what happens when the movie is released in July of 2001. But the crazy thing is that July of 2001 was also when Squareco had its second biggest gaming hit ever. The same month. July of 2001 was the month that Final Fantasy X came out in Japan. And then later, I think it was December, is when it came out in the U.S. So Final Fantasy X was going to be Final Fantasy's first foray into the PlayStation 2, as well as its first with voice acting. With a budget of $32 million, way less than the movie, the game would sell over 8 million copies at the time.
Way more copies than tickets sold to the movie.
And would be a massive critical... I don't think that's actually true. And would be a massive critical hit as well. In terms of sales, and I would say legacy, FF10 ranks just below FF7 in popularity. It was a beautiful game and brought the series into the modern era of gaming. Leaving its roots behind, basically, and it steered the series into what it is today. So what we're looking at today, I think, in my opinion, is the result of FF10's success.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, before that, we had the chibi, or not chibi, but the sprite characters, and even FF9, they were sprite-esque. I mean, 8, they tried to go a little bit more realistic, but that was kind of... I think that was just to make up for how awful 7 looked, and they wanted to see what they could do with the PS1.
Yeah, but they were always, I guess, the graphics jerking off thing where they're like, let's make this the best looking game ever. That happened in the PlayStation era.
Yeah, FF8. Yeah.
But the kind of the pattern, the way the games look with the anime style or whatever, I think that started with FF10.
Yeah, well, we also lost our artist as well, and it became a different man.
Yeah, that happened in the PlayStation era as well, though.
That's true. It happened
to me,
with,
it's like how the game
7,
plays and how the world is opened up more. And
yeah, 10 isn't opened up.
And the way that there's just cutscene after cutscene after cutscene with lots of voice acting.
Yeah, that did change, and 10 is the pioneer of that,
10
for
is,
sure.
Yeah, and the linearity as well is blamed on FF10, whether or not that's true. Even with 10's massive success, though, it wasn't enough to make up for the company. It wasn't enough to make up for Square's Spirits Within losses. Hindsight is 2020, but Square didn't even have much of a lineup outside of those two products. The only other original Square-developed titles of that year, and we had a lot in the last couple of years, by the way. If you go through history of Square-Enix, I guess 2000 wasn't a huge year, but 1999 there was tons of titles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There were only All-Star Pro Wrestling 2,
Classic.
a classic game, and the Game Boy Saga game called Final Fantasy Legend here in the States. That's it. That's all that Square had. They published some games. They published like 3 or 4 games from other companies.
Yeah.
So they pulled an Enix in that way. But Square Co. didn't have very much original material.
So they were basically betting everything on 10 in this movie.
They bet everything on 10 in the movie. And they spent a lot more money on the movie than they did on FF10. So guys, 2001 was when Square took a nosedive it would never recover from. which to me is a shame since FF10 was so damn successful. Spirits Within turned out to be the Heaven's Gate of CGI animated features, despite getting some good reviews from the critics, by the way, including like a 4-star one from Roger Ebert. Could you please turn that down?
This is the end. We gotta have
It's been an honor playing with you. Here's an ironic quote for you. In an interview in October 2001, when asked, "Are you ever worried that Square will become too heavily dependent on the Final Fantasy name?" Hironobu Sakaguchi, the man behind Spirits Within, thank you, not so much FF10, responded that avoiding that has actually been one of Square's goals for a long time. It was our aim to try and develop more major franchises for the company. That has always been on our minds. The honest answer should have been, yes, that is a concern, but we did it anyway because we bet everything on the Final Fantasy brand name that year. Enix, by the way, nowhere near as bad of shape as Square was in 2001, although it also had some financial difficulties with the delay of Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, which was a big game for them, and the flop that was the game Indonesia, which I couldn't get any information from. Enix, unlike Square, had spread around its investments in other publishing avenues, though, and Square only had one product that it was selling, which was games. Both companies were in talks for a merger at that point. But at this point in late 2001, Enix decided that it didn't want to take on the sinking Squareco ship just yet.
Well, see, the sad part is what isn't it that Squareco was thinking about buying Enix?
Yeah, so Enix would have been the company that went under. We'll talk about it next time on the history of Square Enix. But it was going to be, with a merger, I guess there's like one company is the surviving company that buys the other company's assets.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So in that case, it would have been Square because they were worth more at the time. Square would have bought Enix out. But Enix didn't want to have their company basically go under because Square was in such bad shape. So they didn't want the merger at all at this point. So in November of 2001, Squareco went into survival mode. The company would restructure. I think Hironobu Sakaguchi might have been he was in the presidency, like he was the CEO before. I'm not sure who took on after him because there was some other financial difficulty thing in the late 90s. But whoever that guy was, here it is. The company would restructure, and Square CEO Hasashi Suzuki, I guess that was probably the guy who took over after him.
I think
after
so, yeah.
Sakaguchi. He was to be replaced by the chief financial officer guy, Yoichi Wada, which, as you know, was replaced recently. I think that might have been Yoichi Wada. So the CEO was replaced because of the financial problems, and on top of that, Square had to go to Sony, basically for help. And Sony bought out 19% of the company to stabilize the creators of one of their flagship series. I guess, like, if you had the company that was giving you one of their biggest franchises, right?
Yeah, and they were slapping one of your competitors in the face every time.
And then you're like, shit, we have to keep control over our PlayStation 2 market.
Yeah.
I guess it probably was a smart move. For
Sony is a pretty big stakeholder in the Final Fantasy series. I'd say they still are.
Because you have no idea if that company goes under, who's going to buy them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy is one of the few exclusives that PlayStation has at this time.
Yep. So that was by no means the end. But Square was still kicking a little bit and would have some success in its remaining year and a half. Unfortunately, the repercussions of the failure of the Final Fantasy movie would continue to affect them until their untimely end, which we'll talk about next time on the history of Square Enix. Sad day, Schweiss. Got one of your biggest hits, same month as one of your biggest failures, and the failure was just too much. It was just too much to handle. They had to go to Sony to get a bailout, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy how not ready they were for that thing to fail. Like how much they put into that project.
As much shit as I give Square Enix for some of their creative things that they've done in the last, since Squareco went away, and how much more I like Squareco's games for the most part. Enix is definitely better at making money, and that's kind of nice to have it in their hands because they at least will not go under. Because they are in multiple different places. They buy other IPs. They have power outside of Final Fantasy. It's still certainly their biggest IP, but I mean, they have Dragon Quest, which every time they release one sells like crazy in Japan, no matter what. Dragon Quest always does well. They've got like Hitman. They've got all of those other IPs. They've diversified. And I mean, Square did that a little bit with their IPs in the 90s, but we didn't get Parasite Eve 2 until, like a few years later, and it was already kind of going downhill. And I mean, the game sucks, so I mean, there's that too. And
here, to me, a lot of their mistake had to do with how they handled that movie.
Yeah, they spent way too much fucking money
First
on
off,
it.
they did spend way too much money on it. Second off, I'm sure that there was a production company that wanted the rights to Final Fantasy to make a movie out of after Mortal Kombat became a hit.
And they could have left it alone without making it all
They
in-house.
could have lost all the money, that production company. Instead, Square-Enix, whose production budget was like $137 million, is going to spend, by the way, a few $1 million on top of that for other costs associated with the movie. So it's not just $137 million; it's way over that. They took on all that financial responsibility themselves.
Yeah,
they weren't able to handle it.
They want to do it all. They want to do it all, which is respectable, but not if you fail. And
it was too much for the company to handle. And it was a company that had to go. If that thing went under, then the whole company would just crumble, basically.
Yeah, which is what ended up happening for the most part.
It's sad. But yeah, some other production company would have probably made a live-action version of a Final Fantasy movie, and Square would have had no financial responsibility on that aspect, and that would have been a much better business deal for them, although I'm sure that the reason that they did that was to keep control over the Final Fantasy property and to make all the money in case it was a success.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And it wasn't even going to be called Final Fantasy initially. It was like Gaia, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something weird.
So, I don't know.
Because it's
Crazy
FF4
situation.
connected, right?
Just because you can make cutscenes in a video game, I don't think that makes you, movie ready.
I would also say that stands true today. I don't think they're movie ready at all. And in fact, I think it kind of gets worse now that I've watched Advent Children again, and I still hate the fact what it does to the characters so much, but it's at least fun to watch. There's nothing fun about Kingslave. There's nothing fun.
There's eye candy.
I think it goes like this. It starts at a decent movie, and then it just gets worse. It just gets worse.
It starts at an okay movie. It's okay.
And there are, the Final Fantasy V movie is fine. That's fine. That's
but
not
that's
really...
a different production company making that.
That is, yeah.
It's a different company
and
taking the risk of that.
And it probably didn't cost that much money even then, even with it being a separate company. Because it's all animated. Square could have done that themselves. Why didn't they do that themselves and not...
I'm 100% sure
it's because of this.
Is cheaper to make.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, anime in itself is a style of film production that
is intentionally
cheap.
Yeah, it is. And we saw that with Unlimited, which we need to still finish, of course, but we see how cheap that is with its animation.
It is. The straight lines, simplicity, single color palette dealio. That all has to do with saving money. So the way that Disney does it is a way more expensive process.
Yeah, but
the way they use their cells or whatever.
Yeah. But with anime, there's a lot more people in the pot than there is over here. There's a couple really big animated movie studios, whereas there it's a bunch. There's a bunch that do these little anime shows. So it's a whole different world. But yeah, Five's movie was probably nowhere, not even close. It's probably a couple million. I don't know. I can't imagine it being much more than that because they had a small release on VHS and
Yeah, I don't know.
That kind of sucks. And the Five movie was fine. I thought it was fine.
I'm starting to think that the Five movie was the best movie.
Yeah, it might be. Shit,
the best one of movie-dom. The best one that hey, just sit down, person who's never played Final Fantasy, and watch this.
Yeah,
I think the one that they're going to get the most non-eye candy satisfaction out of is FF5. And when I say non-eye candy, like, you can like Advent Children because you like action.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with Kingslave. Like, if you're that superficial about whatever your fucking entertainment is, then you will probably like those movies more because the action is crazy.
It's there.
But action without story, without character depth, without meaning, to me, is boring. I just watched the new Godzilla Planet of Monsters movie. Had two-dimensional characters. Didn't give a shit. And when you don't give a shit, even when action is going on in a movie, you don't care.
Yeah.
So, and then it makes it boring.
Yep, it does.
In my opinion. But if you like the eye candy thing, then I could see, like, oh yeah, I love Kingslave. Whatever.
It's all right. It's all right if you're wrong. It's not a big deal. Everybody's wrong sometimes.
All right. Schweiss, we're gonna skip questions this week. We got a iTunes review contest for the Game Boy Advance, as well as some Game Boy Advance games, which includes Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Mostly guys, last year I basically got rid of all my video games. There was a chance that I was going to get there was a high chance, by the way. Fuck, I'm still mad about this. That I was going to get a job teaching in Japan. And I was going to digitize everything that I had and then just like take the Final Fantasy games I needed over there in a backpack. And then, so I got rid of all my video games, basically put them in a box here. We're giving them away as prizes for Nude Clan. Started digitizing half my movies or whatever. I'm not a big fan of keeping all my video games now. And now, like, I feel free to just be like, I'll play it and then I'm done with it, right? Except for like a few that I want to keep around, like Rocksmith, Final Fantasy 15, Diablo 3. Keep it there. Yeah. Mostly because, like, I can imagine, maybe in 6 months on, like, Schweiss gets 2 days off or whatever. Maybe the post office doesn't keep him on or whatever. And it's like, hey, let's go through Diablo 3 again.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen if I get fired.
Yeah. So.
Or let go.
Let go.
Fucking assholes.
Anyway. So there are certain games that I keep. This is not going to be one of those games that I keep.
Oh.
So I'm going to give away my Game Boy Advance and my Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and I'll give you a couple little extra games in there.
Yeah.
To the best iTunes review that happened in between December 11th to last week, and we have 2 of those reviews. So let's go to it. Okay, you want to read our new one, and then we'll pick a winner?
The very newest?
Yeah.
So we have 3 that we haven't read, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I thought we only had the one, but okay, we can read all 3. That's fine.
All right, so first up on January 16th, just started listening, 5-star review from MM Ajewski, 79. Absolutely love it. I listen to it at work, and the great content gets the days to go by. If you're an FF fan, this is a no-brainer. Got another one here, a 5-star review from Gregorio Brochensky, masterpiece of modern podcasting. As I listen to the voices of Caleb and Joe, my body constantly quivers for more. Their angelic tones breathe life into my very soul. Their opinions on Final Fantasy are not without fault, but their rhythmic vigor remains to be matched. Occasionally, they are graced upon by the presence of the curious and quaint Caleb Craig, who brings the straw to Joe and Caleb's banana vanilla milkshake. Please, I urge you to keep on podcasting and bringing your genius into the
what can I say?
The ether. My hands tremble before I press play on every episode, as I know I'm about to happen upon greatness. Thank you for your utter genuine genius. Thank you for jerking me off. And then the final review for today. Great FF podcast, a 5-star review from Big Red 737, January 23rd, 2018. Extreme, amazing, intense, humorous, tremendous FF podcast.
Tremendous.
Both hosts are funny and feed off of each other very well. I just finished going through all of the episodes. That took me about 6 months. Jeez, that's so much. But it was well worth it. The hosts have reignited.
Remember, it's 4 years for us, Schweiss.
Yeah, you just passed 4 years of our lives in 6 months' time. Just think of that. 4 years of growth from us, half a year.
4 years of journal entries related to FF.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what that's become.
January 19th.
Nice.
I died today. God damn it. God damn it. January 20th. All right, I made it past it. That's what that is. That's what you just consumed. The hosts have reignited the FF passion I had when I was a kid. I have bought a bunch of the Final Fantasy games after listening to your podcast and beat some of them. I don't have time to spend on them that I once did. The review episodes are great and in-depth on gameplay, characters, and what needs a little tweaking, or in the case of the World of Ruin, a ton of tweaking. I think my favorite episodes, other than the reviews, are when they have Patreon listeners on. It's great to hear more perspectives than just the two hosts and that other fat guy. I look forward to more reviews and episodes in the future, and I'm on my way to starting Nude Clan. Thanks for making my life at work a little less boring.
All right, so we got a problem here, Schweiss.
Yeah.
First off, all the reviews have been great, so thank you. I think we got like 7 reviews from the US and then like 1 from Canada. So this is not easy. There's 3 that are really great, 2 of which Schweiss read today. To me, it's between our one that's from like December. What date is
18th.
that? 18th, which is from Tifa Cosplayer, and then the very newest one that Schweiss just read. So I'm still having trouble deciding. I believe Schweiss, you didn't decide either.
I can't decide between those two.
So we are literally. I grabbed change from a child's wallet today.
The same child that I backhanded with a controller. We're now taking his money.
I took his money. And what's the username of the newest one?
Big Red 737.
Big Red and Tifa Cosplayer are our finalists, and this is all going to be given to chance. So I'm going to go ahead and give Big Red big face. Okay, he's going to get the face side of the coin, and then Tifa Cosplayer gets the bird.
All right.
Okay. And so
the bird.
The bird. It's an eagle, okay? All right. Heads is Big Red, tails is Tifa Cosplayer.
All right.
But there's no tail on it.
The bird.
That's the problem that I have with the heads or tails. There's no fucking tail on the other end of the coin.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a heads on one side. Anyway, all right. So the winner is it's heads. It's Big Red.
Congrats, man.
Congrats to Big Red.
Good job getting that coin to stay heads. Yeah, both great reviews. A lot of great reviews, guys. Thank you so much. It helps the show out. It helps increase our visibility. It helps me feel better knowing that we're still one of the only 5-star Final Fantasy podcasts.
We went down to 4.5, and then we got the new reviews, and then our
well, the
average
problem
went up.
is that some people were doing joke reviews, but they didn't correct the goddamn things.
Oh, that's nice.
So, like Joe is a bottom 2-star review. That hurts, guys. Like, it's funny as hell. It's great. And now I would say now we're in a safe place that you can do that again. But
I think that was in Australia, by the way. So we're just fucked in Australia.
Oh yeah, Australia people are like, these guys are weak. Yeah, that's good though. But yeah, thank you so much for the reviews. It helps out a ton.
Big Red, if you're on Twitter, please tweet me or Schweiss. And if not, our email is fffanatics123@gmail.com.
Yep. Let us know and we'll send those out.
Yes, please do. Guys, okay. Now we can get to our conversation about our plans.
Okay, so at the beginning of the year,
half did last week.
Joe brought me a Joe plan, which I took, as all Joe plans must be taken.
With a grain of salt?
No, with a block of salt that horses usually lick. A salt lick. And as I listened to his plan, I, of course...
Whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess it is cows, huh?
Yeah.
I, of course, had this brick of salt to lick as he explained to me what he wanted to do, just to prepare myself for the inevitable, okay, just kidding, 180, we're going to do 7 games instead of 17. So we want to do 17 Final Fantasy games because we only have, 18 or 19 actual Final Fantasies
Okay, here's the deal.
remaining.
I had a plan to do the show as normal, okay? And this is where the adjustment comes in. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with my bow tying, beautiful, we're done moment, right? We have 18 I only counted 17 on this paper. We have 18 Final Fantasy games, maybe 19 depending on how you count Dissidia. Because there's a campaign mode that covers both the original Dissidia and the second Dissidia in 0, 1, 2, or you can do them separately if you want as different games. And then the time restraint is different too. So I'm not sure. It's either 18 games or it's 19 games left. Either way, 19 campaign runs left. And I was going to do, my goal was to do one game every 3 weeks this year. And that was a Nude Clan goal. And then we had a conversation about me and what I wanted to do for the future and things that I wanted to work on. And that for me, doing 2 weekly gaming podcasts at the same time in the future may be a problem. And here's the thing with UFF. UFF, as we have done very consistently for the last 4 years, is weekly. And there's a 99% I have to be here in order for the show to work.
Yeah.
In order for the show to be here. Nude Clan has 4 hosts. I do not have to be here on Nude Clan. If I have a shoot, if I have something else going on in my life, if you have something else going on in your life, we cannot be there and the show will happen regardless. Okay?
Not sure if that's true for me, but
so
we don't know.
My goal is still to beat all the Final Fantasy games. It's still to go through all the Final Fantasy published books and movies and to review all those things. It's to finish up the history of Square-Enix and to get that done. I saw that our 5th anniversary is going to be coming up in May of 2019. And I figured if we time all the games called Final Fantasy and ended right in that second week of May 2015 and then have a big wrap-up episode right after that, or 2019, sorry, and have a big wrap-up episode after that, it will be perfect. It's a huge, beautiful run of all the Final Fantasy, straight-up Final Fantasy games in a row. And so if we did 17, there would only be 2 games that we would have to beat within a 5-month period of time. But if we spread them out a little better, it'll end perfectly on that moment. And then after that, the show would become... So the weekly show would end, where we have to do this every single week. And it would become a review show on our own time when we want to after that. So after the final Final Fantasy game, which will be the first Mana game, so that'll be Final Fantasy Adventure. After that, we'll do the Mana games, but we won't do it weekly. We'll just do it when we're done.
Yeah. It'll become just a review podcast.
It'll become just a review podcast. It'll basically become the RPG podcast where they just come on when they're done with the game, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about it. Only we're better with time anyway, so that it won't become like them.
Yeah, we won't take that long. We're not going to be doing the shows weekly, but we're still going to be playing the games weekly.
So in a way, we will have beaten all the Final Fantasy games at that moment. Had the entire show as a weekly show up until that moment. And then from then on, it's basically a bonus show, or when a new Final Fantasy game comes out, we'll then hop on and do the show whenever we want to. So it won't be weekly at that point anymore.
Yeah. One of the things that the reason why I'm for this is because I don't want it to seem like I know you guys love it, most of you at least, and love us coming on no matter what we're talking about, but I don't want it to seem like we're stretching thin on content. And it's not that we necessarily are yet, but we will be soon. It's gonna start getting kind of...
As soon as that year and a half is over...
We're going to be done with everything. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want the show to be tarnished by week after week of shoe-in episodes where we're just scrambling to find stuff to talk about.
Which honestly doesn't happen that much with this show.
Not really. No, there's a lot of stuff.
It does happen occasionally, but and people just like us. I think some people don't.
Yeah, and that's why it's not an issue for us to be on the other show that's weekly. Like, if you like just us, then we have another show where we're on. And it's not that we're not going to play the games, because we've had time after time we've talked about what games we're going to play for the show and have asked you guys, should we play the Xeno games? Should we play this and that? It's not that we're not playing those. It's that we're not going to do those while we're doing the weekly thing. We're going to do those on the side, still play them, still stream them on the UFF channel, because it is for Ultima Final Fantasy. It's kind of like the post-season Final Fantasy. I mean, we'll still probably separate it into seasons after we're done, just because I want to do as much artwork and cool shit as I can.
You want someone else to do as much?
Yeah,
artwork
I want Stolas to do as much artwork for me as humanly possible, and I like the season setup. I think it's fun, but it will come to that at that time.
It'll just be a better place for us. Schweiss has some future plans as well. That it's like doing 2 weekly shows
is kind of a lot, yeah.
So we're going to make this year and a half, first of all, the most awesome year of the podcast, because we're going to be getting shit done. And we're going to be getting shit like just finished and reviewed and all the stuff that you've been waiting for, basically. It's going to be in this year and a half. And then the show will continue just in a different way after that.
Yeah.
So we will have completed our goal of playing all the Final Fantasy games at that point. So the thing is, beating 17 games this year could still technically do it. I actually have the means to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to spread it out so that I basically went on howlongtobeat.com. I went on to the game averages, which we always average less than the game time on How Long to Beat, by the way. I've never gone over these fucking times. I wrote down 17 of the 18 games, put their time in at 436 hours left of Final Fantasy games. I rounded it up to 450, so that kind of covers the game that I didn't put on here. And at 450 hours for 67 weeks, which it was when I counted these up, and we're ahead, by the way, on that already. It's basically an hour a day of Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Actually, it's less than that. It was like 6.12 hours a week, which what is 10% of 6? It's like 6 hours and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Of Final Fantasy every week. If I can stream a game, I will stream it every Friday, and I'll call it Final Fantasy Fridays. If I can't, like I can't right now, I'm just going to play 7 hours every week.
Yeah.
Of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, we don't have modded DSs, so we can't do that.
And with that time, we'll be done basically right in May. So that's the new Joe plan.
So get your salt block.
So get your salt block. Yeah, you can go ahead and tweet all your crap to us. I think it's a great plan. It finishes the show, I think, without fault right at that point, basically. And I'm excited about this year and a half. Just like these games also get shorter, so we're going to be going through games fast still, regardless. It just won't be 17 games this year. It'll be like 11 or something. So, and the longest game
is the one we're on right now.
So this one will probably be like 6 weeks away from a review, but then there'll be some where it's just a review every other week.
Yeah,
like when we get to Crystal Chronicles, I think the longest is 15 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We'll have to do Final Fantasy Fridays on whatever day I have off. Just come down.
Mine will be Final Fantasy Fridays.
Well, if we're going to do a co-op, we got to do it.
Yeah. It'll
so
be Crystal Chronicle Wednesdays or whatever.
Well, I say we call it Final Fantasy Fridays presented by Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
So I'm just making adjustments where I'm doing the same thing for Godzilla. I'm also I'm getting fucking 12 of these things in Godzilla done, and basically we'll have both Godzilla and UFF ended around the same time.
Yeah, and that'll allow us to do, there's a Game of Thrones show that I've been wanting to do forever, and we can't really do, and I know a lot of you guys love our shows, but we can't really do more shows with as many shows as we have. There's just no time. And it's not that we're trying to kill UFF or anything, it's just that...
I want it to end with a bow tied on our 5th anniversary.
That is kind of a nice.
It's like a nice thing. So and it also makes it so I don't have to do 12 hours of gaming a week on Final Fantasy. It makes it so I have to do 6.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was 11 hours, but whatever. Still a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually for it. So first time we talked about it, I wasn't, but this time it makes a little bit more sense. So we hope you guys. hope you guys stick with us and enjoy the next year and 3 months, because I do think it is going to be really solid. We're going to be playing these games and getting those reviews out. We're going to be covering the 7 content. We're going to be covering the 10 content.
We finished the 7 content that has been translated.
There's a couple things. There are a couple things that haven't.
If
yet.
they pop up in the next year and a half, we'll get to it.
It's just like the games. If
our next thing is that Final Fantasy X 2.5 book.
I am not looking forward to that, because we're going to have to read the entire book, and then do a review of it. And it's translated too, so that's what makes it kind of tough, because it's like we're reading someone else's translation of it. It seems pretty good though. So I mean, the browsing that I did, it doesn't seem good. Like, it seems like it's going to be a piece of shit, but the translation seems good. So. And
you wanted to do this on the show, was read the whole damn thing?
I was thinking about that, but I don't know now. I think it'd be fun to do a production of the Final Fantasy X. But then I thought that it was kind of weird, because we'd be doing a production of someone's translation of.
Yeah.
And that kind of seemed weird to me.
Then we got to finish Unlimited. We got to finish Daddy of Light. There's a Final Fantasy 12 manga that came out that we got to go through. And then there's a 13 short story that happens in between 13 and 13.2.
Yeah. That would be nice to fucking read.
I think that might be all of the ones that are over here that are translated.
And the others are just on.
As far as book and video content. Oh, and Daddy of Light for FF14.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to go through all those episodes too. So those are the other things that we're reviewing that we got to check off the list. I'll make a list of those as well.
Yeah,
just to make sure that we have
Yeah, and I say we put it on the site, and if you guys see something or if you notice something's missing, just let us know.
I'll put it on the forums. I'm sure Shinru will come up with something. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, there are probably plenty that we'll have to shoot down, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I hope you guys aren't too disappointed in this plan. We'll have a year and a half of awesome, and then we're gonna still be awesome.
Yeah, we'll just play Mana.
Reviews.
Let's play Mana.
Play the Mana games in a row, and then Kingdom Hearts, Air Gaze, and we got to push Air Gaze away from Dissidia, by the way.
That keeps it pure.
Yeah.
Also, that keeps Ultima the 5 years of actual Ultima Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Except for us playing Vagrant Story, but that's Evil Loose Alliance, which started with Final Fantasy, so screw that.
Yeah.
It counts.
Yeah, it counts. Actually, I think
it's extremely loose.
Vagrant Story is after Tactics, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's extremely loose. Like, it's ridiculously loose. It barely matters.
It's the only one that is iffy on our run up until FF Adventure. So
true. So we can have one iffy one in there.
Yeah.
Plus, it puts a cap. Like, it's like a.
It's also short.
We want the big bow tie, but we also want the little teeny bow ties, and that one's a little teeny bow tie. That's Evil Loose Alliance.
Evil Loose is done.
Other than the Crystal Bear mobile game thing that you can buy on PS3. It's just a tower defense game, though, so there's really nothing to cover.
How dare you bring that up?
Nothing to cover. We already reviewed it on the show. Remember, it was a guest review, the first one.
Yeah, guest review. That one was an awesome guest review, by the way.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
They had they had like a drop for your voice.
Yeah,
that was great.
And then our laughs. That was fucking fun.
Anyway, guys, thank you for sticking with us. Hopefully you'll stick around more. You can find our show at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGillier.
Me at UFF Podcast. We got plenty of great ways to support the show. We've got our Patreon, a direct pledge. We appreciate each and every one of you that donate to us every month. Keeps us running.
Cover those 7 Patreon episodes we owe right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of them. Hit us up. We'll hit you up too. We want to get those going because we only have a year and a few months left.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could do them after that too. I guess, but
I think, but
I think it would be nice to get them in while we're still doing just the Final Fantasies. Though.
While we're still doing the weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay pumped for that. We also have Amazon. You click through our Amazon link on the website. Small kickback, doesn't cost you a thing. It's really great. Got Twitch. You can, if you got Amazon Prime, you can sub to the channel or any channel that streams. And of course, you can follow us at twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. We've got a direct PayPal link if that works for you, or don't do anything. Just listen to the damn show. That's
the show.
It's the best way to support.
Tell your
us.
friends about it.
Yeah. Tell your Final Fantasy buddies. I've gotten a few people at my current job to start listening to it. Surprisingly easier than the other one, but then again, it is mindless, so kind of goes hand in hand, podcasting. So, spread the word. Give us a review. Spread the love.
We'll see you guys next time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Till then.
Just make sure the show's going.
Enjoy. the Tactics Advance 2 grind.